Welcome to my tarot card reading for Capricorn 2017. Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Let's start with your April 2017 reading. This is Eshu, Obatala, and Karma. And right here we had the Two of Pentacles, Saturn, Capricorn, and the Judgment card, Scorpio, Pluto, and Leo. And what we have here, let me go to this one, which is the main topic for the month, and then what I'm going to say on the top is going to make more sense, because this month is all about grieving. This is all about going through a mental process, a psychological process. Okay, it could be a defense mechanism that you are enacting or whatever it is, but you're going through a psychological process, and that's where the tarot cards are here talking about. What they're saying is that you are revisiting the past. You are going back in time, technically speaking, to fix a problem. Okay, it could be emotionally, psychologically, or it could be a real problem, but you're going back in order to fix, let's say it like that, a problem. Okay, but here is saying that you're hurt or you've been hurt. So that's why you are going through this process, because you're trying to make amendments. You are going to, you're trying to find closure. Let's put it like that. Okay, that's what the tarot cards are talking about. Okay, yeah. At the same time, I have to mention that you have to be a little bit careful with yourself, because you're being a little bit tough, a little bit rough with yourself. You're being a little bit despotic with yourself. You are your worst enemy, technically speaking. You are being too harsh on yourself. Okay, that's what the tarot cards are insinuating. Okay, that's the first the topic for April. The first week of this month is all related with acting up, if we can call it like that. It's about doing something. You have been forced, you're pushed into action. You cannot keep procrastinating. This could mean many things. It could mean that you finally go and visit a psychologist, a therapist, or anything along that line, or you simply decide to do something about this grieving process that you're going through this month. And this first week is all about doing something about it. By the second week, you are going to go back. This is all about going back to the same stuff. It's letting you know that during this process, you are grieving. Whatever you're grieving, it forces you to go back. This could mean many things. For example, if someone died, you might go back in time, metaphorically speaking, in order to heal the wounds. It could be that recently someone died in your family. It could be that, and you go back in time, meaning that you go to an album and you start looking at pictures or listening to music that this person used to listen. Do you get me? That kind of stuff. You're going back. Okay? But it also could mean that you're grieving, you're crying for a relationship that ended. That relationship could be good, it could be bad, but you go back to it. Okay? Or you go back to a relationship that is the same as the one before. It's different people, but the mechanisms present are very similar to the ones before. In other words, if you were in an abusive relationship, you're technically going back to an abusive relationship. Okay? And this process has a term in psychology which I forgot, and Carl Gustav Jung talks a lot about it. And what he says is that we are trying to fix the past. And what we do, we always enter in a relationship that is very similar to previous ones because we want to fix something. We feel guilty and we're trying to fix what we did wrong in the past, but in the present. Okay? And that's the dynamic that we're having here during this month. Okay? And probably that's why we have here that you are acting, doing something, which is represented here. By the third week here, remember that you're in a grieving process. Here you are blinded by the emotions, the feeling. You don't want to see, you don't want to understand, you don't want to hear anything. You just do whatever you want to do. That's more or less the energy that is bringing forward the card. And it's letting us know that you enter into a situation, good or bad, doesn't matter, but you are blinded. You don't want to hear, you don't want to listen, but it's because you're grieving. And that's what the tarot cards are talking about here. And then denial, in other words. And then here we have the last week. And the last week is all about spirituality. It seems like the grief makes you explore the spiritual world a little bit more. You need answers, you want answers, and you're going to find them in the spiritual world or reading self-help books. Okay? But something along that line is going to start happening because you're trying to find balance. The Two of Pentacles, you're trying to find balance. This is all about the psyche. You're trying to find a balance, and that's what the tarot cards are talking about. And that's all I have for you until the next one.